I really hope the microphones stay on for that whole thing because I'm just over here like singing the song to myself, bobbing my head.
I'm waiting for you to actually like add lyrics to it, so then we can like switch it up. We can go right to the StreamYard people and make a bunch of money.
Freestyle. We're gonna freestyle at some point. We're working on the lyrics. So hello, we are live. It's Friday. And we're live. 49ers Seahawks. Andrew Pasquini, that's me. Jason Aponte, to whatever direction he's at.
No, you had it. You got it on the right shot.
Man, it like I'm gonna be honest. Like I don't get too excited for football games at this point. I just kind of I get into Niner games and whatnot when they're going on.
Right.
I don't exactly like spend every waking second waiting for the games and all that. Seahawks week's different, man. I had this game circled on my calendar on Monday. I am locked in. I am ready. It's Seahawk week.
Yeah, man. What's up, man? What's up to everybody in here? Mariah, as usual, always showing love. We're gonna let everybody get in here a little bit, so we can give some time, and then we'll get to going into what Andrew and I saw on film yesterday on our Zoom call.
I'll start with this. Maybe the most important question. I know you have a daughter. What are you going to be for Halloween? Curious.
Me, I'm just going to be a stressed dad. It's the role that I know. And it's not. I
love it. That's a good one.
My daughter's going to be Rainbow Ruby, which is a Netflix show. So, tomorrow there's something that we're supposed to do where, it's like trick-or-treating for a little bit. So, yeah, we got that going on. Me, I'm just going to be the guy who chases after her and eats all of the delicious candy out of her stuff.
There you go.
That's it.
That works. Hey, man, isn't Halloween one of the few days of the years that's very rewarding of having a kid? Is you get to steal the Halloween, you get extra presents on Christmas, you get extra presents on your birthday, like stuff like that. For sure. Father's Day becomes a thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean Halloween's good because like she can't have like the Reese's and all that. So like I'm gonna bust that out. So.
Oh yeah, dude. Reese's is probably the Jerry Rice of Halloween candy.
It's up there for sure. I mean, I saw some Snickers slander on my timeline. I had to cleanse it real quick. Like I had to get people away from it.
So I guess the question is, and we might lose viewers for this. Are you a candy corn guy?
Hell no! What the hell?
Oh, I might lose my co-host because candy corn is the best.
Andrew, it's like chalk gum out of chalk. I don't know. Like it doesn't even have like a taste or anything.
Whoppers are up there too. Whoppers are good Halloween candy. Oh man. Hey, Whopper. Okay. If we're ranking Halloween candy on how easy it is to eat them, Whoppers is at 1 because they come in the little 2-packs. So you just pop that thing open and just like pour it into your mouth. You're good.
Look, Reese's peanut butter cup. Yep, the crap.
Yeah, no. Well, I think we agreed. Reese's peanut butter cup is 1A, like one. Yeah. No discussion.
Thank you, Barry. Good God.
Listen, hey, hey, man. For Halloween, I went very simple. I don't know. Do you watch a TV show called What We Do in the Shadows?
It's this guy from Ragnarok's show, right? I love him. The guy who directed Ragnarok.
I think so. Actually, I think that's a fact. I think. Yeah. So it's a show about vampires in 2020, Staten Island. It's very much like The Office. It's a mockumentary show. I am Jackie Daytona. There's an episode where one of the vampires owes money to another vampire, so he runs away, and his disguise is regular human bartender Jackie Daytona, and his disguise is literally putting a toothpick in his mouth.
Right.
And vampires can't recognize him for some reason. And like at the end of the episode, the other vampire finds him and he's talking to Jackie Daytona. And then he takes the toothpick out. He's like, "That's the vampire I've been looking for." And so, yeah, so I decided to go spend $1 at Target to buy a whole box. I bought a 800 toothpick pack of
Is that enough for one cocktail party? Good God.
I mean, they don't exactly sell toothpicks in like packs of 1.
Right. Or 10.
Or 10. So yeah, I just went $2 for 800. So there you go. There's the Halloween talk. Right. Do we want to dive into
let's do it. It's 5 minutes in. For anybody who's stuck around, there is some football talk here, I promise.
Hey, we gotta let it fill up a little bit, get people in. I know some people, West Coast at least, getting off work right now. We gotta let them get in.
Yeah.
So I don't want to stress it too much, but this is a pretty important football game for the 49ers, huh?
Yeah, I mean, something like it. It's some team that they're playing that everybody hates.
I mean, well, we're at that stretch of the season. We talked about it a couple weeks ago, how with Matt and Javi, about how this is the stretch of the season that probably might kill the 49ers. And now 2 weeks into it, every game is the most important game at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Going 2-0, entering the Seattle game in Seattle. No crowd, which is going to be very, very important. I don't know what are you looking for in this game? What are the things you're looking at? What I don't know. What's your feeling going into this game?
I think it's just going to be more of last week when it came to the game plan. Extensions of the run game, controlling the clock. I think the 49ers' best defense is going to be their offense this point. So I just expect more of the same, honestly. Keeping Russell Wilson off the field. I think that they're going to lift a little bit. Like when we were watching the film last night, I think they're going to lift a little bit of what Minnesota did on offense, which is, continue to run the ball. That is all dependent on how well they're running the ball, because, Dalvin Cook was having a good game before he got injured in that game. So just keeping Russ off the field and just making sure that this offense is humming along. I'm really not too worried about the offense. Obviously, the thing that we need to worry about is how to stop Russell Wilson. So.
And I mean, that's really the secret to defeating the Seahawks is containing Russell Wilson. And I mean, the Cardinals didn't really contain him per se. They just forced turnovers on him. I think, what was it, 3 interceptions? He still had a normal Russell Wilson game in terms of the yardage, the touchdowns, but they forced 3 turnovers, and they were able to hand the Seahawks their first loss on the season.
Right. And I mean, Mike Iupati's not playing this week for them, so they're even thinner at the line than they were before. We found out Shaquille Griffin's not going to be playing today, which I'm not certain who's going to be left in their secondary, if anybody that anybody knows. I mean, Trey Flowers, God bless you, bro, because you're going to be out on an island trying to guard, you and Quentin Dunbar. I don't know. Like, I'm really trying to figure out who they have left, But, at the same time, I saw a lot of Seattle fans complaining about injuries, and it's like,
I think somebody posted like most players on IR per team this year. I know the Browns were 1 with 26. The Niners were 2nd with 21.
Yeah.
I mean, or maybe it wasn't. It was another team that was.
It was the Jags. So the Jags, I believe.
Jaguars. That's who it was. Sorry, I got my bad teams of the 2010s mixed up. My bad.
No, the Jags had 29, and I think the 49ers had like 27 or something like that.
It was something, and so yeah, I guess we'll start there, because I guess the advantage of doing a show on Friday now is we have a lot more information in terms of, hey, you can't compare the two, Melissa. I got yelled at for not even directly comparing the two. Be careful doing that. People are going to get mad. The advantage of doing shows on a Friday is we pretty much know who's in, who's out at this point, other than the game time decisions. I have the Seahawks injury report pulled up. So you touched on it. Shaq Griffin, he's out with a concussion/hamstring. That's a heck of a combination. Unfortunately for them. Doubtful is Carlos Hyde at running back, Mike Iupati. You mentioned him, and Hugo Amadi. Excuse me, that's the name. They're doubtful for Sunday. Questionable, little surprise is Chris Carson. It felt like he was ruled out essentially on Monday, but he's questionable, and that's going to be something to watch, especially with Carlos Hyde out or doubtful. He's probably going to be out. Travis Homer also on the questionable list. I don't think this is going to be a situation where Marshawn Lynch gets signed, especially with it being too late. You got to wait for the 5-day COVID thing. So what the Seahawks are going to do at running back is going to be very interesting to see if Carson and Homer can't go. I'm assuming with both of them questionable, at least one of them is going to go. The other big one for the Seahawks is Jamal Adams is now questionable. He was doubtful most of the week. And that's going to be something to watch. In terms of coverage on Kittle, I know we've talked about Adams in the past. He's not the best coverage guy, so I don't know what that does for them. So there's essentially the Seahawks injury list. They also have Ryan Neal listed as questionable with a hamstring injury as well.
The other thing is Pete Carroll said that all of his running backs are going to be game time decisions. So that's Carson, that's Homer, that's basically, Hyde's not playing. Doubtful means he's out. Like that's like 10% chance that he's playing. But Carson, I think that's gamesmanship. I don't think Carson's playing in this game either.
I was literally just going to say that.
Right. And if I had to guess who was going to be playing, it'll probably be Homer, and it'll probably be DJ Dallas. And yeah. Yeah, that's not the same. Carson fits so well with what they want to do. He runs violently. He beats you up. Like he's a good runner. Homer and DJ Dallas are 2 satellite backs, basically. I'm not really too worried about them pounding. Don't be surprised if the leading rusher in this game is number 3.
Took me a second to think about who you were talking about. Yes, number 3 is Russell. Well, there we go. I was like, who's their third string running back? And I realized what you were saying. Yeah. And I mean, this is an advantage for the Niners. Obviously, a team that's missing 2 of their top running backs, or 3 of their top running backs potentially. What's the Niners' weak spot on defense? It's the run game. They tend to get gouged more often than they don't. So Seattle's out there with a 3rd string running back, 4th string running back, Niners defense might be able to pin their ears back on the pass, and that's not going to help Seattle. It's a Seattle team that passes the ball very, very well, but Chris Carson does give them enough of a different look to where the pass game is more successful. So I'm interested to see what Pete Carroll does.
They've been using him more in the pass game too. It's been this shift from run first to pass first is all on first down now, and they were using Carson in that way. So it's going to be interesting to see. I mean, I just expect them to throw the ball at least 45, 50 times in this game. Here's a good question. Who's going to be bigger? So Dunlap's not going to play this week, Melissa, because he has to do 6 straight days of COVID testing. So he's not going to be able to make the game. Snacks Harrison is, a great run stuffer. He really is. That's all he's been his whole career, whether it was with the Giants, with the Lions. So, Snacks is going to be the one playing. So that's the answer I'll give. But he's less of he doesn't pressure the quarterback. He's just there to run stuff.
The thing is with the Seattle defense, and I mean, I really want to do the opposite of what we did a couple of weeks ago, of say something nice about the Seahawks just for fun.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're a very good franchise. They're a very good team. The thing about their defense is they don't have much of a pass rush. Their secondary hasn't been very good. And that equates to the 32nd ranked pass defense in the league. I mean, if there's going to be a game where you see Shanahan allow Garoppolo take deep shots, this might be the one. This might be the one where they try and stretch the field. And I know we're going to get into a tape in a little bit here. Something about the Seahawks is they like running that zone because they don't exactly have the ability to, or the talent to run a lot of man-to-man. And they leave a lot of soft spots in those zones. And what's Kyle Shanahan really good at? Identifying soft spots in the zones. So the pass game, this might be a different Niners offense we see. This might be a team that builds the run off of the pass instead of building the pass off of the run.
Right. For sure. And I think that if there was ever a time for the 49ers to get right downfield, right, it's going to be in this game. Take your shots. Here's a good one, right up here. Where's the Jamal Adams one I just saw? Jamal Adams isn't going to be saved to where is it? Who do you guys?
Fifth one. Something tells me the Seahawks are saving Jamal Adams. 5th one from the air.
Right. Bray, honestly, I don't think that, that would really matter much. Like when we were digging up the film, we were watching Julian Edelman, kind of bake Jamal Adams. We watched the Falcons guys in week 1 do the same thing. So I think that's going to be on KJ Wright and Bobby Wagner, how they're going to do it. And if they're going to do anything, they'll keep them underneath with somebody over the top on Kittle, which will only leave, Brandon Ayuk by himself, and it's going to create throws for a use check. Like I'm not even trying to be a homer here. I'm really trying to figure out how Seattle intends to stop this offense, especially given what we just watched on film this past week, man. Like, my God.
And the thing with Adams is, and I don't mean any of this as a knock on Jamal Adams at all. Like, Jamal Adams is a very good player.
Yeah.
Jamal Adams got a lot of hype in New York with the Jets because he was the best player on a bad team in a big market. So he got a lot of hype as a safety. And what does our brains click to when you think of a safety is pass coverage, but realistically what he is he's a box safety. He's better upfront pass rush kind of in that area. In terms of coverage, George Kittle, I don't see George Kittle being a good, hey, Kinlock can get a sack this game.
I think it's
I don't see Adams being a good matchup for Kittle. But I could be wrong. I could absolutely be wrong.
Well, no, you're not, because the Jets asked him to do that here and there with Gronk, and those guys and Ertz and stuff like that. It's just, after watching what Kittle did to Stephon Gilmore, can we even be worried about anybody lining up against Kittle? I'm not. I mean, at this point, if he's doing that to Gilmore, then Adams has got his work cut out for him. If that's the case, Bobby Wagner, whoever it is, good luck. Good luck.
And the point, Eric Price says, does Bobby Wagner still play at that elite level?
I think his reputation tells you that, but I'm not certain it's there.
I'm going to have a take. Bobby Wagner, to me, is the LeBron of defensive NFL players in the sense of everybody knows LeBron's the best player in the NBA to a point where he doesn't win MVPs anymore because it should just be LeBron every year. Bobby Wagner's just so good. We just kind of gloss over him at this point because it's like, yeah, like he's just that good. And that's my take on Wagner. He's just a good linebacker. I'm assuming he'll get on Kittle every so often, but just Kittle's such a just matchup nightmare, man. Just such a matchup nightmare.
Yeah, and we saw them try to do that in week 17, and it didn't really work out well for them. You know, like, so that's why I'm not really upset. You know, like, honestly, I think that they're asking Bobby to do a lot, man, right now. And that's the thing. It's just like, you know, he's a smidge away from elite. Like, there's nothing wrong with that right now.
Archinoy makes a good point. Bobby seems stretched out with that terrible defense.
There you go. Like he has to do too much. Like he's telling people where to line up. He's got to be sideline to sideline covering. And when we pop on the tape from Arizona, you'll see, man. Like, I'm not certain what this defensive scheme is supposed to be. Is it completely drop back 30 yards and let a guy catch it right in front of you? Like, I don't understand what it is Seattle did this past week. I don't get it. Like, it didn't make any sense, especially considering how fast Kyler Murray is, how much speed Arizona has to offer at their wide receiver position. It was just like, no wonder you gave up 37 points. No wonder you gave up 38 points. Like, it doesn't make any sense. Oh, here's a good question.
Is it the one that, okay. Ayuk. So I said 100% chance Ayuk has a 100-yard game before Debo comes back. 150 yards just feels like a lot.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to say under just because I feel like Jameer set the number too high.
Yeah.
If he put it at like 120, I might be more tempted to say over, but 150 feels like a lot.
125 is going to be what I'd say. If he gets 150, the 49ers win by 2 touchdowns. That means they're just destroying them then.
Yes.
So here's a good one. I think we know the answer to this one, Ben.
I don't want to answer it.
We know the answer to this one, Ben.
I'm a little biased. Fred Warner. Go ask a football fan that question, see what they say, because we're going to say Fred Warner. We're spoiled with him, but like
we are.
As I said with Bobby Wagner, he's just so good. You just kind of forget how good he is too.
Right.
The one thing I'm a little worried about is how the Niners are going to deal with DK Metcalf. Last year, the Week 17 game, it really felt like down the stretch, every throw went to him.
Yeah,
because I think. I know I forget the exact order. I think they started with Witherspoon on Metcalf.
Right. So they started Spoon. Right.
To a point, and Spoon just kept getting beat to a point where Mosley stepped in.
Mm-hmm.
And even Mosley was struggling with him. Like it's not. I don't think it was exactly a defensive back issue. I think it's just more of a matchup issue in general. And let me see if I could actually find the targets in this game.
I'll take this one. So what 2 safeties are you starting this week? Tart is doubtful. This week. So if you're asking me, I think you go right back to Moore and Harris. If I had my way, man, I really want to see Moore and Harris again, man. Like I no disrespect to Jimmy Ward, but you know, after what Travarius Moore just put on tape, how can you not get this guy in the field?
Yeah, I'm probably gonna lean. I think I don't know the safety, like you know, like the difference in the safety positions and all that stuff, and I don't exactly know that. So what? Like, I guess I'll ask for mine. Why wouldn't it be a Jimmy Ward, Tarvarius Moore secondary?
I don't know if Tarvarius Moore can play strong safety like that they want him to, because then it's a little bit different position. I could be wrong. I mean, from what I saw on film, he was in the box. He was up high in a 2 safety set. He was all over the field, so it could work. You know, but I just don't think that it's conducive, because I think the issue is that Jimmy Ward still has the coverage issues, right? So even if it is him and more, you're still exploiting Jimmy Ward to being beat over the top. I think that Moore in the free safety spot is going to be a lot better, honestly. But let's, you know, I mean, again, I'm not the coach. I don't make the decisions. That's just what I see from the outside.
Yeah. And guys, I love all the questions. We're going to try and save questions for the end because we do have some stuff we want to go over. Yeah. Do we want to pull up the tape we have saved?
Yeah, let's do it. So let's get to it. Let me pull this up.
So Jay and I went over some Seahawks stuff, kind of stuff we saw. Jay is a lot He's watched way more tape than I have, so I'm gonna let him go at it, and I'll point out things that I notice.
All right, yeah, perfect. Hold up, didn't mean to do that.
Oh, that's a sight. I love that.
All right, so the play that we're on right here is So look, we were just talking about zones, right? So I want to show you guys like exactly what we were talking about. So this is just like, this may not look like anything big right here. Make sure this is big. Okay, so look, basically the look that they're giving right here, and this is how you can tell obviously that it's zone, right? Nobody's over, either of these receivers, so it looks like people are just going to be drifting back, right? And that's exactly what we're going to see here. So I want to run the play real quick. So I want you to watch up here. Look at Dan Arnold. Why is this up here like that? Like it's just in the way. I want to bring it back actually.
I think you gotta keep your mouse off the screen.
Let me see. Is that true?
For the like October 25th, the scores. Yeah, you gotta keep your mouse.
There we go. All right, got it. All right. So look, Dan Arnold's up here. He runs around. Look, he finds all this in the middle of the field. Like, are you telling me that George Kittle can't run that same sort of route over the middle? Like, watch this again. I just want you to watch everybody dip this way and leave the entire middle of the field open. If that's what's happening, like that's going to be all day pitch and catch. Like that's going to be way too easy. Like I didn't really understand what the philosophy was in this game for them as far as what they were trying to do. But like, Andrew, like everything was zoned pretty much this entire game that they ran.
Yeah, and it really hurt them, and they seemed to it's weird because it was like a hybrid of a man and a zone, because there's one play that we saw. It was also to Arnold in the middle of the field. The play where both top safeties decide Andy Isabella was the guy they're keying on, and they just let Arnold run middle of the field.
Yeah, we'll get to that one too. It seemed like the Seahawks didn't really have their assignments down on who they were supposed to be looking for. Like even this touchdown right here is so fluky, right? I didn't learn anything from this, but I want to show it to you because it's so weird. Like anybody who got to watch this game, look at Kyler Murray, and it looks like he's not even looking, right? And then all of a sudden, what? The ball just gets hiked, and it's like a fake out. It's almost like when you quick pitch somebody, and they just throw it up to DeAndre Hopkins on Quentin Dunbar, and he's stuck because look at this one more time from this side. Check this out. Look at him look this way. Look at Kyler not even looking. And then the ball just comes in, and everybody's like, what the heck? Like, nobody was even looking, and there it is. Like, that touchdown tells me nothing about the defensive scheme. That was just some sneaky stuff that Arizona did, honestly, right?
And I'm not going to say Shanahan's going to do something like that, but Shanahan's going to pull something out of his hat in this game, kind of like he did against the Saints last year with the Emmanuel Sanders throwing the ball for the touchdown. Like I feel like this is going to be the game where we're going to see Shanahan kind of reach into his bag of tricks.
Right. Let me find that Dan Arnold one that you were just talking about as well, too, because that one was like really like egregious. Is this it? Yeah.
I think it was this one. And so you'll see it later in the play. We'll replay it.
Yeah.
Both the safeties decide to go to Andy Isabella, and they just leave a soft spot in the middle of the field, about 20 yards down the field.
That's it, Andy Isabella right there. So Andrew's dead on. So basically what's going to happen is Isabella's going to run just a straight 9. Like he's just going to try, but he bends the route in the middle to force both safeties to go with him. Dan Arnold's down here. And
Arnold's right there, yes.
Yeah, so now you just watch everybody just fall back and like nobody take anybody. So we're waiting for the snap. Come on, hurry up. Look. No one's guarding him. Look at them all up here. Look at what this is like that. Like, what are you doing? Like, what is this defense here? Like what exactly? I want to watch what Bobby Wagner and KJ Wright do here. They're just watching the backfield, and now they're turning and running. They're both guarding like the same blades of grass right there. Like, I'm not certain. This is what I'm talking about when I talk about their defense. Like, I don't know what the heck they're doing and how, with the way that the 49ers throw their passes, how they intend to stop this right here. Check this out. One more time. Look at these two right here. They're down here. Look, and all he does is bend the route that way, and there's no one there. Like, I just don't understand what Seattle was doing on this play.
There's a lot of the Seahawks give up a lot of space.
Right.
And I really feel, unless they drastically change the way they run their defense this week, which I don't think they're going to, because I mean, listen, I guess the best way to put it is 49er fans saw how the Niners handled Cam Newton. Cam Newton threw for 98 yards against the 49ers, and whether it be, he's not 100%, whatever it may be, that same Cam Newton threw for 350 yards against the Seahawks defense.
Yeah. And he hadn't thrown for more than 175 in any other game this year, I think, or something like that.
So the Seahawks, listen, like the Seahawks get a little bit of the Ravens treatment because we're so used to the Ravens having very, very good defenses that we see Raven jerseys, we're like, oh, their defense is good. Same thing with Seattle. We remember the Legion of Boom, that defense, that all-time great defense, wearing these jerseys. And so we tend to sit back and say, hey, Seattle's a good defensive team. They're not in the passing game this year.
No, they aren't. They really aren't, man. And I want to find one more. I want to find this play. The one that you pointed out to me. So
this is like Kyler run?
Yeah, this is the Kyler run. So this is I mean, look, this is how it seems to me that when I was watching this, that Seattle's just leaving the middle of the field open. If they intend to do that against the 49ers, Godspeed to them. They're about to get 50-pieced all in their face if they don't do anything in the middle of the field here. But I want to show you something. Andrew brought this up to me, right? So this is obviously a naked backfield. It's just Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray checks because there's so much in the middle of the field. He literally checks the play to just a straight up design run.
And if you rewind to where they show the scoreboard at the start, this is 38 seconds left.
Yeah.
All Arizona needs to do is get in field goal range to force a field goal, because you can barely see with the neon green. It's 34-31. This is Arizona just needs to get in field goal range. And the best angle you're going to see on this play is from behind the quarterback. Right. You can see it here, how open the middle of the field is. And Kyler has to check out of this play to change it to what he does. And if you run it, he recognizes how open the middle of the field is, and he just boom. And obviously Garoppolo's not going to do this, right? No. We're more looking at, look how wide open the middle of the field is here. Look at this angle. Look at this. There is
you just check right there.
Between the two linebackers, there's probably 20 yards of space. And if Fitzgerald holds his block a little bit longer, like Kyler could take that at least 10 more yards.
For sure.
Seattle's defense just has a lot of leaks that I know, like if Jason and I are recognizing these holes, damn sure Kyle Shanahan sees these.
Kyle Shanahan's sitting there rubbing his hands like Birdman, looking at this right now. Check this out. This is it again. Look at. So you're trying to stop them from getting in the field goal range, and all you're doing is running a soft zone with no pass rush. I have to ask, like, what are you thinking? You're not.
If you rewind here too, I pointed this out last night. 13. Who's 13? I forget exactly who it is.
Christian Kirk.
At what point is he covered on this play?
And never. I mean, they were fine letting him run underneath the linebacker here. Like, we'll slow it up here and let it run a little bit more. But like, they're fine with letting Christian Kirk, and this is trying to get into field goal range. Look, the middle linebacker is allowing him to cross his face right here, and he's good with that. And they're running two crossing routes to give him outlets. This is all covered up here. But at what point, look at all this over here. Like, look, who's he running after? Who are you running after, dude? There's no one there. What are you doing?
And Archinoy makes a good point. The whole field is there by using 5 receivers, stretching the field. The Niners aren't going to use 5 receivers, but Shanahan will, essentially simulate 5 receivers, right? Shanahan is good at stretching the field with what they have by going wide, by finding those gaps. The Niners, the way they stretch the field is those end arounds, right? Those end arounds to Ayuk, those end arounds, we're not going to see it to Debo this week because of the injury.
Right.
They stretch the field by saying, hey, we're going to run wide. We're going to run around everything. They're going to start stretching naturally because of that. And that's when the middle of the field is going to open up. So no, you're not going to see 5 receivers from the 49ers, because I don't even think they have 5 receivers at this point.
No.
You're going to see them stretch the field by expanding the field on run plays and the end arounds.
Yep. All right. So, I mean, pretty much on defense, what we noticed is in this entire game is that they just ran a soft zone with no sort of pass rush. They're rushing 3, they're rushing 4. They've got nobody that can get home, right? Like, if this is their game plan next week, it's not even going to be pretty. But we should look at some offense. So this is the Russell dime. But what I want to show you about this is this is a perfect coverage call by Arizona. I had to ask somebody who was much more knowledgeable than me on defense, did I miss something? Did Budda Baker just give up on the play? Did he lose the ball? Well, that person let me know that, basically he lost the ball here. They call a perfect coverage on Tyler Lockett. So they get him in motion. You can tell that this is man. They switch it off. Patrick Peterson's going to come grab him. Now, look, they're both on him. Now, look, watch Budda Baker here at the end. What happened? What happened, dude? What happened? He just stopped. He stopped chasing. If he continues to chase and trail right from where he is, so it's these two right here with Tyler Lockett coming across. Look, Budda Baker looks like he's got it right. Like he just called the right call, and look at him break off. Look, What happened? You lost the ball, dude. And if he's there, that ball gets knocked down. But that's the problem, is that Russ throws such a beautiful ball that if you leave it one-on-one, there's not many guys that can match up with Tyler Lockett or DK Metcalf going down the field when that ball is as pretty as that.
If you put any quarterback on the Seattle Seahawks that's not named, let's say Russell Wilson, Lamar Jackson, Aaron Rodgers, any of the top-tier guys, this isn't a 5-1 team.
No.
This is not a 5-1 team. Russell Wilson makes up for a lot, including the defense. I mean, you look at all the scores the Seahawks have had. I'm finding it right now. 38-25, 35-30, 38-31, 31-23, 27-26, 37-34. These are shootouts that Russell Wilson is keeping them in the game for. So we're not trying to say that look how bad, the Seahawks defense is. This is going to be a blowout. We're saying this is the things that Kyle Shanahan's going to notice to make the Niners offense better. The only way this game's going to be a blowout is if the Niners can contain Russell Wilson. And that is a very, very big if.
Right. So, and I want to show that because this is for the people who are asking, like, okay, so how do we defend it, right? So towards the end of this game, right, and I don't want to pile on Vance Joseph, right, because Vance Joseph is an NFL coach. I'm just some guy, right? Vance Joseph is, let's say, mediocre at his job, right? Defensive coordinator. But what I have to give him respect for at the end of this game is he dialed up the blitz in many ways, and also his rushers were disciplined. And right here is the perfect rep and how it's exactly done. Right here, you're gonna see off of the edge is gonna come the blitz. But what happens is these guys aren't just all gas no brakes running past Russell Wilson, allowing him to step up. And even when he does roll out, they still have contain on him. This is pretty much how you want to do it right here. And you have to force him to his right. Look, here it comes. They don't rush deep enough. Now he's out. But look, there's contain there, and you force him into a stupid throw. That's really what you have to do. You have to force him off his spot, and you have to force him to not throw where he's stepping into it, stepping away from it like this, like how he's running away from the pressure. They don't rush deep enough, right? Now he can't step up, and he has to move out, and then he has to float this up. He had 2 or 3 bad throws like this, like all with pressure in his face, and Vance Joseph did a great job at the end of the game doing that.
And the Niners edge rushers, I mean, especially when they're at their peak. So we're talking Bosa, D Ford when healthy, Eric Armstead. Their guy close the pocket towards the line of scrimmage. You can't do that with Russell Wilson.
Right.
You have to push the line of scrimmage towards him because Russell Wilson, if there's something he is the best at in the league, is stepping up in the pocket.
Yep.
You cannot allow him to do that, and that's what the Cardinals did. And I mean, even to a point where I remember in overtime, I forget exactly what sack it was, they had a free run at him. I mean, they did such a good job forcing that line of scrimmage to come towards Wilson that the Seahawks line tried their best. I just noticed this. The Cardinals use the 5th quarter. They don't do overtime.
Yeah, they don't do overtime. That's why I looked at it too, and I was like, oh my God, I'm too tired. It says 5 quarters. It's overtime. Yeah. So this is the interception in overtime, right? Isaiah Simmons gets his first interception. Again, look, everyone's up on the line. The line is trying to call out the calls. Look, they even bring a corner blitz. See, this is how you confuse them right here, okay? So let's bring it back, and I want to run it, a little bit slower. So what they do is they rush a certain amount, and they drop back enough where it confused Russell Wilson, man. Like, the whole line is trying to point out they think the house is coming, right? But the cornerback up here, and I suspect that if K1's playing, that this is going to be his role on certain plays because they use him the same exact way to come in here and get Wilson. So, look, he's already moving towards the line because he knows the snap is coming. Look, he thinks that he has it beat. Isaiah Simmons does a great job of getting over there as fast as he can, and the ball's up, but he's not even looking. Like, who was that to? Because the throw was off schedule, the pressure was in his face, and Russell Wilson thought that he actually was going to lead his guy into looking, but he threw it to an area that basically, Tyler Lockett's not even looking, and that's what you have to do. Constant pressure, bring it, mix it up this same exact way, and look at what happens. Look at, like Andrew said, imagine that Russell Wilson makes bad throws too, right?
And the way you do it is pressure. And I mean, if you go down, and if we can't find it quick enough, the sack I was talking about is actually, I think, 2 plays before this. If you scroll down, and if we can't find it quick enough, it's no big deal. And just to see how much they changed up the, maybe it wasn't on this drive. It was in overtime. There was a sack. Yeah, maybe it was that one. Let me see.
There's a corner blitz, Byron Murphy. Again.
Yeah, and this is what I'm talking about, switching up where the pressure's coming from.
Right. And
because
again,
watch how free of a run he has here.
Right. Well, there's no one there on that side. Now, here's the thing is that you bring everybody to the line like that, and you got to suspect. So you got to suspect that this is what the 49ers are going to try to do in this game, right? And I mean, not as much because that's not their style, but they keep showing everyone and then dropping people back. Once they started doing this towards the end of the game is when you saw Russell Wilson flummoxed a little bit, man.
Like, pause it right there.
Yeah.
There is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 players looking like they're blitzing. 4 of those guys are dropping back.
Right.
The one who gets the blitz is a corner. You have to confuse the Seahawks line like this.
Right.
Look how many guys drop back here. Like,
yeah, Simmons is going to drop back. 49 is going to drop back. Baker tries to get in there, but DJ Dallas is right there. But Greg Olsen's trying to come chip him. By that time, it's already Byron Murphy's got a free shot, and that's it. There's nothing you can do. There's nothing you can step up into. There's nowhere to throw the ball and get rid of it. So, I mean, so much of what Vance Joseph did at the end of this game is going to be lifted by Robert Saleh. He's got to find ways, and I think we can cap it there. He's got to find ways to create pressure, man. Like it's really just going to be that more than anything, and continuing to get Russell Wilson out of his comfort zone in that pocket. Don't let him sit there and unleash that deep ball. Don't let those routes develop down the field. Like a lot of what Vance Joseph did at the end of the game's got to be lifted by Robert Saleh. Great job.
Absolutely. So there's your tape, guys. It's a beautiful thing that when we do 2 shows a week, we could actually cover more. It's weird how that works.
For sure.
So I guess this is the point of the show where I'm going to ask you some generic question to give the people watching time to drop their questions, and we will run through. And this was the question I texted you to remind me about.
Yes, spicy question.
And this is nothing against Pete Carroll. This is just kind of a general question. Is Pete Carroll the worst head coach in the NFC West currently? And that's nothing bad. That is nothing bad against Pete Carroll. Pete Carroll is a top NFL head coach. That is not me saying Pete Carroll is a bad head coach. He has a Super Bowl title. You can't be a bad head coach. If you were to power rank the NFC West head coaches, I would say Shanahan's at 1.
Yeah.
And you could tell me any order of the next 3, and I probably wouldn't disagree.
Right.
Right?
So for me, it's going to be Shanny, it's going to be Carroll, it'll be McVay, and then it'll be Cliff. I think it's Kingsbury because there's points when I watch Kingsbury and his play calling, sometimes I'm like, dude, do you even know what the hell you're doing at times? Like, he iced his own kicker in this game. Like, so Cliff, but what I get what you're saying because Cliff is bringing something to the game, right? He's bringing something that people are lifting, something brand new. He's the new kid on the block. I get that. I get that for sure. But Cliff and Kyler are like joined at the hip, right? Like this doesn't work with Josh Rosen. Like, this is not like, so I get what you're saying. I do. Yeah. I do. Okay. And I'll say the same thing about Carroll too, that he's a bit overrated, right? Like a little bit of just a rah-rah guy, really not X's and O's, anything like that, you know. So I get what you're saying. Like, I know that Cliff is much more X's and O's, so's McVay, so's Kyle. It feels like Carroll's just one of those older guys, like, get out there and punch him in the mouth, you know, like one of those guys.
Yeah, and I'm not sitting here saying I think that's the case. I do think Cliff Kingsbury is probably lower on the list than Pete Carroll. For me personally, I would go Shanahan, McVay, Carroll, and then Kingsbury. And just because of the top 2's ability to kind of change what they do despite their personnel, I don't know why it took Pete Carroll 6 years to finally decide, hey, we have a really good quarterback. Let's run the offense through him. Because Pete Carroll was very much a run-first coach. If you give Sean McVay Russell Wilson, there is no way that team is a run-first offense.
No.
If you give Kyle Shanahan Russell Wilson, there is no way that's a run-first offense. No. And I think Pete Carroll's inability to change, or at least change quickly, because he did change this year, and a big part of why they're 5-1 is because they're finally running the offense and letting Russell Wilson do things that he wasn't allowed to do a couple years ago. So for me, I would probably have it Shanahan, McVay, Carroll, then Kingsbury.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair too. I mean, the thing is with Carroll, right, is like when you got to remember when Russ came in the league, nobody thought that Russ was going to be like this, right? So you know, they had this legendary defense that they were like ground and pound, and they were going to let the defense do everything, right? You know, then you bring Brian Schottenheimer along, who like has this long track record of just trying to turn football back into the 1920s when they wore leather helmets and just ran the ball 85 times. So I think it's more about Schottenheimer and Carroll together saying, okay, let's in fact let Russ cook. I hate it, but yeah, and this is what we were all afraid of the whole time. We were like, yo, imagine if this offense finally said, put the ball in our best player's hands and let him create. Like, that's a scary thought. And now, and now it's here. And now
it's covering a lot of their holes. It is. I mean, you see, like, in no world should a team with the 32nd ranked defense be 5-1. But as I said, Russell Wilson does that.
Yeah.
Russell Wilson 100% does that himself.
That's why when people say that Russ is the best in the game, I don't think they mean the most talented. I think that he does more with less, right? Like Pat Mahomes and Andy Reid and all those weapons, that's a perfect marriage, right? But I think we all know that if Russell Wilson was paired with those weapons and Andy Reid, you would see similar things. So, Russ carries a terrible offensive line, a terrible defense, and look, they're 5-1. So I think that's the difference, really, realistically. When someone tells you that they think that Russ is the best in the game, they don't mean like talent-wise. They mean for that reason that he does more with less.
Yes. Yeah, and I mean, he has decent receivers too, but like it's just not at the quality of what like a Pat Mahomes has, because Patrick Mahomes has Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce, and now he has Le'Veon Bell, and he has all these weapons. And Russell Wilson, I know Doug Baldwin's great. I know Tyler Lockett's been great. I mean, the current pair of receivers they have with Lockett and DK Metcalf might be the best duo of receivers he's had, because Baldwin was there before Lockett was really great.
Right.
And then when Baldwin was kind of phasing out, that's when Lockett took over. And now they finally have two receivers at the same time that feel like they're elite receivers.
Yeah. I mean, the both of them. I think that Tyler Lockett's one of the most underappreciated receivers in this league. And I think that DK Metcalf is Terrell Owens reincarnate. Just when you watch him and like I almost want to just put the screen back on just to watch him chase down Budda Baker again. I think, and I'll say this a million times. We're going to look back on this draft and wonder how many teams passed on DK Metcalf, and they're going to say, why did we let him slide? Because he had a bad 3-cone at the combine. Guys, you really psyched yourself out with this one. Like, you should have just like taken him and run.
DK Metcalf is the perfect definition of why you need to take the combine with a grain of salt and really trust what you see on tape.
Yeah.
And the fact that, because what was he was a 3rd round pick, right?
Second
round pick. The fact he felt like AJ Brown, he's a good receiver, but like in NFL terms, like who would you rather have, AJ Brown or DK Metcalf?
I think that's really close, but I would take DK. They're both really good. I think that the one that really is going to hurt is the Eagles took JJ Arcega-Whiteside over DK Metcalf. That's gotta hurt. See, look, we took Debo over him, but I think we're happy.
We're happy because Debo fits the system better with DK. But if you're talking about, hey, I'm starting an NFL team from scratch, I'm doing a Madden fantasy draft, I have to pick between Debo and DK Metcalf, I'm probably taking DK Metcalf.
All right, we're getting canceled now for that one.
Hey,
All right, so let's take some questions, guys. Like, if you have any more questions, or maybe I'll just start going through.
And we have a few. D-Flow wants to ask, can the 49ers defensive ends and linebackers contain the read option? My answer is the same as always, no.
Let me find it. Where is that? Is that
if you scroll to the bottom, it'll be the top one.
I miss how Joe Woods. I agree there. I hope Jordan Wood. Oh, my goodness. Man, I wasn't even looking at these when I was doing the thing.
This is why we try and keep the questions at the end, because you guys have great questions that if you start at the top, we're going to miss it.
All right, let's pull up some other ones. Let's see.
Let's just start going. Let's start. If you guys got questions.
Will Juice keep his streak on getting another touchdown this week? I think that Juice is going to have a big play, in this game, something deep, down the field. So, yeah, man, I mean, it's very possible. I love that fullback dive. Because the defense is completely like they have no idea what's coming, and Juice is so good with the ball in his hands. Get him the ball, man. Get him the ball.
They finally started giving him the ball in the run game too. I mean, one he had a couple.
Thank you, Melissa.
The touchdown he had a couple weeks ago, wasn't that his first rushing touchdown as a Niner?
Yes.
So
second, because he had one the week before. He had.
That's what I meant. Like
the Miami
first
game.
Touchdown. Yeah.
The Miami game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, so these are some good questions in here. I missed the way that Joe Woods would disguise our blitzes. Yeah, for sure. I feel like Pete and Cliff trade the title for derpiness. Yeah, I mean, yeah. Jason Grant brought up trading for N'Keal Harry from the Pats for Pettis. Would you? I would, but I don't think the Pats will. The Pats invested a first-round pick. There's the first receiver that they've ever invested a first-round pick in during Bill Belichick's time. So, I just don't know. Like, he was just knocked out of the game. And the other thing with N'Keal Harry is that if you've ever heard him talk before, he was drafted, he was always worried about concussions and mental health and stuff like that. So if he has a concussion now, he's not going to be playing probably for a few weeks because he's just like one of those guys that's not going to rush himself back out there. And why would he at this point when you look at the Patriots?
I think the Niners would take that trade just because it's a new guy, give a different look. Like Shanahan knows what to expect out of Pettis, and it's obviously not working. Mm-hmm. So I would say yes for the Niners. I don't think the Patriots
would take it. Will our O-line give up 2 sacks this week? No, I don't think so either. Like, who would it be? Like, I mean, their best pass rusher is Jamal Adams.
If you set the over-under at 2.5, I would probably set it at under just to give myself the second one. Mm-hmm. But the Niners' offensive line has gotten hot. Yeah. They've not allowed a lot of pressures the past couple weeks. And this Seahawks team hasn't shown anything to be able to get pressure on the quarterback.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, and that's what we just saw with the Arizona game, right? Like they were just rushing 3, rushing 4, and just having everybody sit back, and it's not. I'm not really worried about it. They don't Dunlap's not going to play this week. They don't really have anybody that really scares you. Bruce Irvin's injured. Like I don't know who they have to rush the quarterback. Carroll would have been fired a long time ago if it wasn't for Wilson. Yeah, I think that people forget that they had Matt Flynn ready to go that training camp. Remember, he threw 6 touchdowns in one game for the Packers as a backup, signs this big deal with the Seahawks. They draft Russell Wilson. They get to camp. Second day of camp, Pete Carroll's like, yep, this is my guy. So, yeah, but into that.
I see. I don't necessarily like that point, to be honest. Nothing against the point because it's true. But, would Bill Belichick still be the head coach of the Patriots if it wasn't for Tom Brady?
Good question.
Would Bill Walsh be as well known if it wasn't for Joe Montana? Yes, I understand it's a perfect scenario for Pete Carroll, but there's a lot of tandems in the NFL that you can do that with.
Yeah, for sure. So if Jordan Reed isn't available at game time, are we still going to neglect going 22 personnel because Shannon just isn't? Yeah, look, guys, Kyle Shanahan's pissed at Ross Dwelly.
The thing is, so with the 22 though, because that's 2 tight ends, 2 running backs, correct? Yeah. I want to spin it and say, well, isn't it just? Doesn't Shanahan just run a 1.5 and a 1.5 essentially? Because he'll put Juszczyk out there too, and Juszczyk can act like a tight end.
So I think that's a great point that Andrew points out too. In regards to this question, is that the second tight end is Juice now.
Yeah,
it's not Ross Dwelly. Ross Dwelly missed a block and almost got Jimmy Garoppolo killed, and now you never see him on the field anymore. Don't think that Kyle didn't notice that because it was right there in front of you. So if you can't block, you're not going to play. Why do you think Kendrick Bourne continues to see the field? For every drop that he has, it's fine. Kyle's like, you know what? He mixes it up and he blocks. I'm going to get him in there. And that's the difference. If you can't block and you get in the doghouse, then you end up like Pettis and you end up like Spoon. And I think that's what's happening right now with Dwelly. And then Andrew's absolutely right, man. Juszczyk is now the second tight end and they use him in that same exact way.
D-Flow, before we put your question up, I want you to clarify if that's 25 yards total or 25 yards in the air. Because if it's 25 yards total, over. But if we're talking about the ball flying through the air 25 yards, that's a different conversation.
25 yards over in air yards, over under 2, I'm going to push. I'll say 2. He'll throw it. He'll throw it.
If we're talking about in terms of total yards gained, over, because the Niners offense can get big plays. 25 in the air, then I'll say push. I'll say push.
Push, yeah, 2 of them. I think he'll get. Just something similar to what they ran with Ayuk with the pick play, which is, again, not throwing it into coverage and it's a guy schemed open. You'll see one of those. And you'll see one of the ones to Juice. They're going to hit that. This is my bold prediction for the game. They're going to hit that F leak and that Y leak finally to Kyle Juszczyk in this game. They're going to hit it. That one, if it's got to happen this game.
Do you think Jamar Taylor has another big game? I'm going to say yes, but not in the way Melissa's asking. K'Wan Williams is going to be back. He's going to get majority of the coverage. What Jamar Taylor has shown his best ability is pressuring the quarterback. He's come in and he's gotten a good amount of pressures. So I'm going to say, yeah, he'll have a big game. And I think Shanahan's going to use him, or Saleh's going to use him in the sense of we're just going to come with pressure in different areas.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing too, right? So this is all this question is dependent basically on what happens with K1, right? So K1 plays, he's gonna be the nickel guy, right? So obviously if he doesn't play, then Jamar Taylor, is gonna be the one that's in there. So it's tough to say whether he's gonna have a good game. We have to figure out if K1 is gonna play. I am gonna guess at 9:20 Eastern time on a Friday that K1 is gonna play this week. Everything that was indicated during practice is that he's going to be back. He's going to be running in the same way. My guy Jamar, yeah, Leo's so funny, bro. But yeah, I think that if K1's there, K1's going to play that Jamar Taylor role where he, the nickel cornerback blitz. They ran it a ton that first time that they played Russell Wilson last year. So yeah, I mean, Jamar Taylor had a great game last week. But unfortunately, K1 Williams is standing in his way, and he'll be the one who gets most of the run. Leo's funny for saying that, bro. I mean, that's just a joke because Leo continues to say things about Jamar Taylor, and then we were on his show, and Jamar Taylor went off last week, and everybody in the comments was like, "What about your boy Jamar?" Like, so like when we say things, Andrew, people pay attention, and they're gonna come back and talk to you.
Right. Hey, man, listen, just don't get mad at me for saying I'd rather have DK Metcalf over Deebo Samuel if I'm starting a team.
Callie, I agree. I think we all are in agreement that I think this is going to be the week that it does happen. I think that it's going to be one of those pressures off of the edge that forces Russell Wilson right into Kinlaw, and I think we see Kinlaw get off the schneid this week, man. I really do. He's this close. He just has to. He's just this close. He just needs to work on finishing. That's it. What else we got here?
I saw one earlier that I'm trying to find right now. Jameer asked, do you guys expect Shanahan to use Ayuk as a gadget in the place of Deebo? Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, you already see him being used as a gadget player when Deebo's on the field. Mm-hmm. You're only going to have to rely on that. Go Niners. No, I do not think it's going to be flex because it's way too late. But also on that point as well, if a game had gotten flexed in, I think it would have been Steelers Ravens.
Correct.
So either way, I don't think so. No, we got the Packers Thursday night, so they're trying to give us some time. True. Yeah, that too. All that. Yeah. D-Flow, we got what you meant. Will he complete a pass for over 25 yards? Yes. In the air, yes.
We got 2. So you said over under 2. I say he hits 2.
Yes, I think 2 is the perfect number there.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, if you guys have any other questions, we'll sit here for another couple minutes. Wait, if you guys have anything off the top of your head. Jameer, if you're still here, I remember you had a question on Wednesday regarding DK Metcalf. I forget exactly what it was.
Who would be covering him? That's a good discussion.
Who would be covering him? I think it's whoever's side he's on. The Niners are still doing the side thing. Mm-hmm. I think whatever side it is, I would assume that Mosley's gonna see him a lot just because of what we saw last season, how often they win at Mosley with Metcalf, and if that doesn't work, then they might try and shift him over. Do you think Seattle's defense will feel the? Yeah.
Yes, for sure. That's another great point, man. Like it's another great point when you play 5 quarters, and especially as fast as Arizona plays, right? And that's the other thing too. So it's like. You're talking about below average defense now is going to be winded after taking all of those snaps. Come on, man. Like, it's got to be effective. It's got to affect them a little bit right now.
Kevin. Oh, here you go. Oh man, I gotta think.
I don't.
Who do you got?
My favorite player on the team. Come on, man. It's my best friend, George Kittle, man. Okay. Come on, man. We're best friends. We hang out all the time. We text each other. I mean, I really just text him and he blocks me, but it's the same thing. It's all the same thing, right? So, it's Kittle, man. For me, it's got to be Kittle.
I'm gonna cheat and list like 7 Niners. This is a fun Niner. So somebody tweeted, "Who's your favorite team not to win a championship?" And one of my friends said the 2012 Niners. I would list last year's night. Nobody's complimented my shirt, by the way. I'm a little sad. Spent $60 on this. It's wrestling. It's Bray Wyatt, Firefly Funhouse. I don't know if anybody watches wrestling in here.
He said stand up so he can.
This is like 90% of the shirt, man. It's just this design over and over. I would probably say Fred Warner's my favorite Niner on this team. Linebackers are real fun. Linebackers are just really, really fun to watch for me. Who's your least favorite? I'm not going to answer that right now. This Niner team's too fun. I don't think I have a least favorite starter. Kevin asked, I don't know if Kevin has any kids. You're pretty much asking who's my favorite or who's my favorite child. Who's better right now, Ayuk or Debo?
Oh, all right, damn.
I would say Debo just because you see Shanahan using him a lot more.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't think Ayuk's at a point because Shanahan literally used Debo in the backfield, like carrying the ball as a running back.
Yeah.
So, and I don't see Ayuk doing that yet.
Man.
Oh, that's a callback.
Yes,
that's
Barry.
a callback. Yes, thank you. I know we went over this.
Yes, Barry. You got the bad Patricia look. Just put on a bandana. Yo, all we need to do is get you a pencil. You already have the headset.
Yeah, I know.
Look, what I'll say about the Debo thing, and I agree with Callie, right? Look, he offers all the same things that Debo offers, but to see him be so well, like with his route running already, like over the top, like I think it's Ayuk, honestly, man. And I don't want to be prisoner of the moment. Best receiver for this team, Ayuk. This offense sort of rolls a little bit when most is not in there towards Debo, though. So I get the argument 100%.
If we're talking skill set as a receiver specifically, I would probably say Ayuk. But if we're talking within the scope of the 49ers offense and how it runs, I would say Debo.
Yeah, well, Debo is more of an extension of what they want to do. Like, and I agree on that for sure. Those end arounds and those jet sweeps, those are that's like unguardable. Like, and sometimes you get frustrated as to why they don't go back to it. So I agree. It's just that when I watch Ayuk, I can't believe that this guy has only played 5 games in this league, man. He just looks like a guy who not only has room to grow, but already looks established in his first 5 games. That's what's scary.
D-Flow, this was D-Flow's question was the one I was actually looking. If White and Pettis dress up, who gets more targets? That's going to be Pettis. I saw that question earlier. That was a question I wanted to touch on.
I don't know.
I would say, but as I said on Wednesday, Kevin White is the break glass in case of emergency receiver.
Yeah,
I think if we're talking in just strictly like, hey, the Niners offense, everybody's healthy, I think Pettis gets more looks than Kevin White.
Kevin White hasn't been on the field. I don't know his familiarity. Exactly. I don't know his familiarity with the playbook. So I mean, I don't know. You know what it is too? You have to remember this, right? No matter who's available, you have to remember Kyle Shanahan trusts who he trusts. So no matter how much, Richie James isn't going to play this week. Expect to see Trent Taylor sprinkled in some of those snaps, which, at this point, I don't get why he continues to get them. Like, why aren't we giving Kevin White these looks? Why aren't we giving someone else these looks? Even Pettis, man, why are you not putting him on the field? Like, that's just a whole other discussion, right? And look, I agree. Javi hits it right here. I think they're going to draft again in another receiver in 21. Like I agree with that for sure.
What happened to was it Juwan Jennings? Where's he at?
He's on IR.
He's on IR. Okay, so he's still with the team. Okay, he's still with the team. That's because I remember he didn't make the roster, and I wasn't sure if he signed somewhere else.
Oh my God! Don't say that. Amari Rodgers, Ayuk, and Debo. Good God! Holy crap, man! Like it's. I saw people saying that that's redundant. It's not at all, man. It is not.
Hey, Javi, can I get back on my Travis Etienne train? Are they good enough to get back on that train yet? Art Trenoy, you put the question up. Does Kyle, and for that matter, every head coach always choose starters? This is me looking from an outside. You have more knowledge on this. I think it's for the Niners, at least Shanahan runs the offense and Saleh runs the defense. I don't think Shanahan has his hand in the bucket too much on defense.
He does, actually.
Oh, he does. So there we go. See, I'm wrong. Don't listen to me. I don't know.
I mean, I didn't mean it like that, but I'm just saying the Brian Allen call, that was Kyle.
Oh, that's true. That's very true. Yeah.
That wasn't Saleh. So
but I think it's more Shanahan does have the 53. I think it's more of a team to team situation.
Close your eyes, Niners fans.
Zach Wilson did. Hey, man.
Ooh.
Should Ayuk be returning kicks? Or actually, Melissa asked first. Ayuk hurdle touchdown or Kittle 4th and 2? Kittle 4th and 2. I have that shirt actually. I'm going to break it out for Saints Week.
What? Well, that 4th and 2 play is that
4th and 2. Like, yeah. If you compare it, it's probably the best play from the Niners season last year. I know the Greenlaw play existed, and the only reason that play is so big is because of just the moment. If we're talking strictly in terms of like play, Kittle 4th and 2. Should Ayuk be returning kicks or nah?
No.
No.
He's better at it, but I don't want to risk him on that. I really don't. Especially when you have all these guys who are supposedly kick returners. Like,
yeah. Who 49ers Sack Kings ask, who is more impactful, Fred Warner or Nick Bosa? Fred Warner.
This is a good question.
I would say Fred Warner.
Okay.
I think if roles are reversed, just because of the importance of the middle linebacker is essentially the quarterback of the defense, right? In terms of talent, Bosa's better, but if you're talking about impact, I think if roles are reversed, I don't think the Niners defense is as good if Warner was the one that was hurt and Bosa's healthy. I think Warner being there is more important.
I mean, that's not a bad take. I wouldn't disagree with that all the way, but I mean, it's damn, man. It's like when Bosa's in there, man, like all of a sudden, like pairing Bosa, and I hate to do this because he's not here, pairing Bosa with the way the secondary looks now with Mosley and Verrett, man, this defense would have a chance to be better than last.
I think my simple answer to who's more impactful, Warner or Bosa, I'm just going to say yes.
Yeah, that's it, pretty much, right?
I think that's a simple one.
For sure. I'd rather extend Warner over Bosa. Bosa too expensive. I don't know, man. That one, listen, I think for a little while, right after the Bosa injury, you kind of saw the 49ers almost feel like, oh, God, pack it in. It's over. Like that's kind of how they went out there and played. Like the team lost its juice. So I think that's a little bit to tell you how much they view him. And it's tough, man. Bosa is such a game changer, bro. Like he was a Super Bowl MVP, man. Like it's crazy, man. So, I mean, we have time. We can wait. It's like another 3 more years. But, man, I don't know, man. Like I couldn't imagine the 49ers not re-upping Bosa to a 30-year contract like Kittle wants.
Yeah. I agree. I agree. Plain and simple.
Out of these 3, who returns next season? Callie, none of them.
Is hang on? I want to call it. Is it Callie or Callie? I want to get it right before.
I think it's Callie.
I don't know, but
Callie, if it's wrong, let us know, man.
If I had to pick one of the 3, I mean, my answer is probably none too. But if I had to pick one of the 3, oh man, I would probably say Sherman.
They're all gone, I think.
I think they're all gone, but if I had to pick one of 3, I'd probably say Sherman, just because of what he does in the locker room.
Sherman would have to take a very small deal. Like he would have to understand that like this isn't this like we're gonna give you one more contract and keep you around, but you can't be out here asking for what he negotiated. Realistically, was low risk, high reward for the 49ers. He should get one more contract based on what he did, but like I don't want to see the 49ers dip into high money for him. Like if he wants to come back, cool, but you got to come back at the right price.
Yeah.
See, this is it. Like if he does that again, where he's like, if I make the Pro Bowl, I get this, cool. Like, yeah, I'm with it, especially just like Andrew said, keeping him around and just keep like the defense is nastier when he's around because he won't allow them to slip. So like the wrestler, the great
Kali.
Got it. See, I didn't know that one. Andrew's our
resident wrestler.
Yeah.
Wrestling fan. So if you guys don't have any more questions, I think that'll do it.
Thank you guys for tuning in for the second show, man. It's awesome. On a Friday to have, upwards to 30, 35 people in the live, man. We really appreciate you guys. And it's so cool to see you guys hyped about our little show coming on and everything. Like, trust me, guys, it really means the world, honestly.
Yeah, I know. It really does mean the world. And if I can stand on my soapbox real quick, go vote.
Yeah.
Go vote. We have 5 more days. November 2nd's the day. Too late to mail in your ballot. Go drop it off. If you drop it off at a fun place, and I know 49ers Sack Kings can appreciate this one, I dropped my ballot off at the Golden One Center, and they gave me a nice little Sacramento Kings I voted sticker. So
nice.
So go vote.
Go for it. Make sure you tag Andrew, please.
Yeah, I have a Twitter too. It's at Pasqueen. It's there. It's right there. I see it. Come on. I feel. Hey man, hey, let's be honest. Jason's the star of the show. I'm
definitely not.
I'm gonna pass it off.
No. Listen, Andrew's the one who keeps me in line, and actually, because me, I'll just be saying a bunch of nonsense or whatever. Andrew did the format.
We can't forget because we do this on our Wednesday shows. We need a prediction.
Oh, let's do it.
We haven't done predictions.
This is it. Let's close the show out. And guys, give us your predictions in the comments too as well. Andrew, do you want to go first?
No, not really, but I will.
I will go first.
You want to go first? Okay, because I'm still thinking about it. Because like I really want like because I try and separate myself as a 49er fan and then use my football brain. My 49er fan brain says 1 million to 0. 49ers 27. Seahawks 26.
There you go.
I don't even know how you get to 26. I think it's going to be a close game.
Okay, I got it 31-27, and we're going to see a similar goal line stand, or Russell Wilson's going to have a chance with the ball at the end of the game like he always does.
Please don't do that.
I
can't deal with that.
Andrew, man, Seattle week.
I went, so I drove to Santa Rosa. So I live in Sacramento, for those of you who, don't know. I drove to Santa Rosa, which is about a 2-hour drive, to watch the Niners Seahawks Week 17 game. It's a Sunday night, so it's a work night. So I drove to Santa Rosa to watch the game with my dad. And it was just such an emotional game. I ended up not leaving until about 10 o'clock because I needed to come down from whatever high that was. I can't deal with these. Like, if it's any other team, like if it's a Niner close game against, the Packers or the Saints, I can deal with it. I can absolutely deal with it. But it's Seattle week. It plain and simple is Seattle week.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll say 27-20. What I say, 6, 1 point game, 1 possession. Who knows? But like my thing is like it could be a blowout. Like I could see either team blowing out either team. I could see either team. Like it's just it's such a random. It's just such a variable that either team can do really anything.
Andrew, you're from the Bay?
I'm from Santa Rosa. I've been told that that's not the Bay. I am in the belief that it is the Bay because it is called the North Bay, and the word Bay's in there. But yes, I'm from Santa Rosa, currently in Sacramento.
Kevin, sorry to disappoint you. I'm from Jersey, so.
You picked a good team.
Yeah, I did. I sure did. 28-25. Who's playing dime nickel spot? I don't think Quan's playing this week, D-Flow.
Yeah, I don't think Quan's playing. I think it'll be Greenlaw. I
wouldn't worry about that. I think you're going to see Al-Shaair, you're going to see Greenlaw, and you're going to see Fred Warner.
Save that question for 2 weeks because I don't think Quan's going to play on Thursday either.
Right. Doesn't make sense. And then 38-24. I like it. I think 49ers putting up points in this game.
I think they will too. I think 27's a good amount for them. But like as I said, I could see this being a blowout for either side. Yeah. I really can.
Yeah.
So give us a follow if you don't on Twitter.
Oh, let's go, Melissa. Jersey girl. I didn't know that.
There you go.
Let's go. She picked a great team too. Look.
Hey, Niners. Hey, they're the 49ers, man. They're the best team in the league in my heart.
For sure. But yeah, guys, follow us on Twitter. Like feel free to send questions, anything like that. We're really accessible and stuff like that. And again, guys, thank you guys for sticking around with us for like an hour and 10. Like I know that you guys it's Friday, especially on the base, so it's 6:30. You guys have your whole night ahead of you, but for you to spend time with us to talk, it really means a lot. Wow, Britt from the Bronx too. My father's from the Bronx. Look at the East Coast in here, man. Ohio in here. We got everywhere, man. Santa Clara.
Y'all don't want to hear my opinion on Ohio, but as a diehard Golden State Warriors fan, I don't have a lot of nice things to say about the specifically Cleveland. Hey, 49ers Sack King, that's a good question. Jason and I are going to talk about it. Mm-hmm. The Thursday night game throws things off, so we're not. We plan on Wednesday. On Wednesday for right now. But we might adjust it just because the game and as we said, I guess Baird's a repeat. Sports, get LA out of here. D-Flow's a 49ers fan, so that's fine. But in terms of sports, man, I'm anti-Laker, anti-Dodger, anti-Rams. I don't even watch hockey, but I'm anti-Kings. Like that's the whole thing. So we're going to 2 shows a week. Except for next week, not just because the game's on Thursday, but because I am going camping next week, and so I will not be in town on Friday. So next week, plan on Wednesday. Thank you, Charles, for saying Santa Rosa is part of the Bay. I get in a lot of arguments every so often about Santa Rosa, what part of California it is. Go Warriors, Dub Nation. Hey, they're coming back next year. Next year is going to be the year, whether it be Steph, Clay, and what's the center name? James Wiseman. Get me Giannis.
Hooray basketball.
Shooty hoops. So we'll be back to one show next week. Plan on it to be Wednesday.
Yeah,
plan for it to be on Wednesday.
We'll update on our Twitter when we figure it out. But yeah,
the second we decide what day it is, we will tweet it out.
Right.
We will not be like, hey, surprise, it's Tuesday now on Tuesday afternoon. We will tell you when we decide.
And if we have to pack a little bit more into it, review of the Seattle game and then preview, we'll figure it out, but we'll let you guys know. So yeah, just stay locked in on the Twitter and we'll let you guys know when it is. But again, thank you guys so much for joining me.
And whatever day it ends up being, it'll probably be a little bit of a longer show just because the reason we're going 2 days is so we can go a little longer on each topic, because there's a lot of things we left out when we went one show a week. And now we can because especially with how many people are now talking with us and how many people are asking questions, we wanted to make sure we gave you guys enough time as well, because you guys bring up things that Jay and I don't even think about.
For sure.
So we honestly, you guys run the show for us, and we appreciate you guys are there. Plan for us to be back Wednesday. Jason, do you want to say the thing we always say?
The thing is, let's go Niners, and it's Seattle week. And if a Seattle fan jumps in your mentions, you don't got to be nice to them, but don't go out there seeking for them. If they're out here talking to you, go crazy.
But don't go find them, please. Let's try and keep it. Let's try and keep it civil, huh?
All right, let's do it. Later, guys. Let's go Niners.
Let's go Niners.